up some barbecue for you. T-Roy's chilling in the backyard grilling, showing you that you can cook it too. Always with a beer or whiskey, but he cooks responsibly.
Hey everybody, welcome to T-Roy Cooks and welcome to another Tuesday chatting with old T-Roy. Appreciate you joining us. Man, thanks for all the support. I'm getting shirts and hats and stuff. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. And I had a couple of you that said, you needed some smaller sizes. Hopefully the next run, once I get this run done and most of it sold, I'll do another run and maybe change up some colors and stuff a little bit for you. And also put some smaller sizes in there. So there you go, just stay tuned. And yes, we do ship overseas if you're interested. Pay a little bit more on shipping, so you might want to buy a few items, make it worth your while. But I can't control the shipping prices out of the U.S. So there you go. Appreciate all the support, though, really do. What are we drinking today? Well, I'm thinking about my brother Justin over Baby Back Maniac. Sorry, Justin. Yeah, Baby Back Maniac. Justin lost his dad recently, but Justin, I'm thinking about you. Got some badge beer here for you. This is all the way from the Dallas area. Home brewed up there in the Dallas area, near where Justin is. So, we're going to sit here and sip on some of this during this chat today. The Badge, it's a honey blonde beer, y'all. One of my absolute favorites. Always get it when I go up to see Justin. Oh yeah, I missed it. Cheers, guys. All right, let's get to some questions. If you got a question for me, ask it in the comment section down below in this video or the most recent video if you're watching this a year from now. Yeah, go to my most recent chat video and ask me a question there instead of putting it on an older chat video, okay? If I mention any YouTubers or any products, anything like that you may be interested in, check out the description box. Hit show more beneath the video. If you get it blown up full screen, shrink it down and you'll see show more down there. And click on that, it'll open the description box. I put a lot of good information in there. And sometimes I have time to put the questions and where at in the video they are. Sometimes I don't. And the times that I haven't, I know Michael stepped in one time and did it. A couple others maybe have done it. And I'll let you guys do that if you don't mind doing it. And then I'll pin your comment when you post a comment with all the different timestamps for the questions in case I don't have time to do it. I appreciate it. So thanks for the help on doing that as well. But yeah, we got some questions here. Let's get to it. First question's from Chicken Fried BBQ. And man, I tell you what, it's windy today. And the color looks a little bit off. I'm thinking it's because it's about noon today and the sun's like right over me. So I'm in full shadow right here. Anyway, it's a beautiful clear sky, but it's really windy. I think we got a front coming through. Chicken Fried BBQ. What we got, brother? He says, y'all go check him out. He's a barbecue channel on YouTube. Check him out. Chicken Fried BBQ, links below. He says, cheers, T-Roy. Cheers to you. Appreciate you, brother. He says, he loves Head Country. That's the barbecue sauce we did last week. Yeah, Head Country, good stuff, man. He says, what's been your favorite vinegar sauce for pork butt? No, honestly, I'd say $10. $10 spicy, man. I mentioned it last week as well on the chat. Tim-bucks.com, I think is a website. I'll put it down below in the description. Another one I forgot to mention last week is El Rabbit's barbecue sauce. He's got a regular, original, and a spicy. And he sells his on his Facebook page, El Rabbit's Barbecue. I'll put his link for his Facebook page down below in the description, along with $10 if you're interested in either one of those. But those two would be my favorite. Really, really good stuff. They both have like a vinegary, they're not a thick Kansas City type barbecue sauce with molasses and stuff. They're more on the vinegary side, so they're a little thinner. But man, they sure are tasty. Good stuff. Appreciate the question, Chicken Fried. Zach Koerber, he says, my wife is celebrating her birthday coming up in December, and she came up with the idea to do a Wagyu steak at home. Well, you got a cool wife. Karen loves Wagyu too, y'all. He says, I was wondering if you had any suggestions. My plan is to salt and pepper and garlic, put salt, pepper, and garlic on it, season it, and then smoke it about to 110 internal. Sounds right. It says, and then finish it off with a good sear. Thank you and keep up the awesome work. Yeah, that sounds great, man. That sounds really, really the way I would do it, you know, honestly, just simple, man. That Wagyu has so much flavor. But be warned, it has so much marbling within it that it cooks faster than you would think. It cooks a lot faster than your normal meat you would get from your grocery store locally, okay? That marbling really heats up the inside and makes it cook quicker. So pay real close attention to it, especially when it starts getting up above like 80 degrees. Keep an eye on it, man. Check it often. You don't want to overcook the Wagyu. That'd be the only thing. It cooks faster and it's a lot more marbled. But yeah, man, keep it simple. And when you're searing it, you watch how much it's going to flame up because of all that Wagyu fat rendering out of it, man. Good stuff. You can also do it in like a cast iron skillet if you want to sear it that way. I keep it from flaring up. But man, I love cooking over real wood, especially like pecan wood with steak. Woo, doggy, you talk about good. Man, I love that. Enjoy the steak and happy birthday to your wife. Appreciate the support there, Zach. Keith Kamps says, T-Roy, can I smoke a brisket in 32-degree weather on the Weber Smoky Mountain? Yeah, you can, Keith. I've done it. You sure can, man. Cheers. Now, we'll say the Weber Smoky Mountain is going to burn fuel quicker because it's got to maintain those temps in that cold weather. If you have issues with it, you may want to get you like a hot water heater blanket and, you know, a fiberglass type blanket and put around it to help it hold the heat, or put it somewhere where the wind isn't going to be able to get to it too much. So you may have to protect it a little bit to keep it going, but she'll get up to temp and maintain it for you. You just need to watch the fuel because it'll consume the fuel pretty quick. But yeah, man, I've done it. Works great. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like being too cold outside, so I might go check it and hurry up and run back inside, or get in my hot tub. I do that too. Anyways, it can be done. Not a problem. Weber Smoky Mountain's great. Where was I? We got Steve Litteral or Litteral. Sorry, Steve. He says, "Cheers, Troy." Cheers to you, Steve. He says, question for you. I'm wanting to try a coffee rub on steak. Any suggestions? Thanks. Yes, Steve. Tango Joe's got a real nice coffee rub. He's called it Midnight Espresso. Check it out. Tango Joe. Tango Spice Company on the internet. Okay, I'll put his link down below. He's also got a YouTube channel. You can see him using it. Yeah, Midnight Espresso is a real good one. And I want to say Oak Ridge Barbecue has one too. I'll put their link down below too. But yeah, man, if you just do a search on YouTube, I mean on you know, whatever search engine you want to use, you can find it. You know, pretty easy. But I have tried the Tango Joe's Midnight Espresso. It's good stuff. In fact, Keith Bedtag, I mentioned him last week, I think. Keith Bedtag loves the Midnight Espresso on ice cream. All the Tango Joe's spices are wonderful though, man. They're really good stuff. Appreciate the question, Steve. Thomas Bonnell, he says, great chat as always. When it comes to buying whole prime rib loin from Costco, how should I trim it up to create steaks for later use? Do I trim the fat off and just cut every 2 inches for steaks? Thanks, dude. Hey, Thomas, appreciate that. Cheers to you, man. Yeah, the whole prime rib roast. Yeah, I would trim most of the fat off. You don't want to leave a whole lot of it on. You know, on the outside, the fat cap. You can trim most of that off. Leave a little bit though, maybe an 1/8 inch or so, a 1/4 inch. You know, because as you're grilling the steak or cooking your steak, that fat adds flavor. So leave a little bit of it on there. You can always cut it off after you cook your steak. And yeah, I do. You know, my steaks, I like them thick. You know, 1 3/4 to 2 inches thick. So that sounds right to me. It's exactly how I do it. Some people like them thinner, so just cut it the thickness that you want. But yeah, that's you got it, man. I mean, you answered your own question. You sound like you're going to have a great game plan and approach it the way that I would too. So enjoy those steaks, man. Costco's got some good meat. Next question's from the Window Guy 1. He says, hey, Troy, How you doing, man? Cheers to you. Ah, oh, that's good stuff. Miss you, Justin. Hope to see you soon, man. All right, he says, hi, Troy. I've had the Weber Kettle for 6 years now. I've had mine for a couple of years, I think, maybe, year and a half. He says, I've had the Smoky Mountain for 3. I've had my Weber Smoky Mountain about 6, maybe 5. Love them both. Me too. He said, but I've seen so many vids out there about how easy it is to keep temps down in the kettle, and I just don't believe it. I don't have the slow and sear, but I do similar cooks with bricks and water pan, etc. A lot of times it works perfect, but sometimes that kettle decides it wants to be at 325, 350, or at the point of no return. He says, this ever happened to you? Yeah, it has happened to me. One time, instead of briquettes, I was using some lump, and it did that to me, okay? So you got to kind of be careful with it. And also, too, I think it happened once, like right now, it's real windy. Sometimes if it's real windy, that'll make you light more charcoal than you would normally light if it wasn't that windy, which will raise your temps. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. If need be, put you a wireless thermometer in there, like on the grate, and just read the grate level from, 50 feet or in your house or wherever you're at, so you don't have to be standing right over it. It's always nice to be able to check and see what the temp is running on your cooker. Always, no matter what the cooker is, even if it's a Kamado type cooker or something like that, Yep, that'll do it though. It has happened. It does happen. Yeah, it happens to everybody. Usually with briquettes, it's not too bad though. Usually they burn pretty even. But with lump and real wood and stuff like that, yeah, it can definitely do it. And also, if you're using wood chunks, sometimes if it's real windy, those wood chunks will actually ignite and heat up the inside of the kettle too. So watch that. Anyway, appreciate the question and cheers again to you, man. Appreciate it. Next question is from Jason Oman. He says, cheers, Troy. Cheers. How you doing, man? All right, Jason, what you got? He says, I have a beautiful 6-year-old daughter named Jenna who is showing some interest in barbecuing with me. Well, hello, Jenna. How you doing, girl? Barbecuing's a great thing. Really, really good thing. If you learn how to cook when you're young, you're going to have the family impressed, trust me. And then later on down the road, you get married, you're going to definitely be impressing your husband or your boyfriends. So good for you, Jenna. I'm proud of you, girl. What's Jason saying here? He says, do you have any suggestions on a recipe or cut of meat that would be best to teach Jenna the basics? Any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Yeah, sure, Jason. You know what I would start out doing is maybe do some, go out and buy like a spare rib rack of, pork ribs. Get the spare ribs. That way you can teach her how to cut the spare ribs to make them St. Louis cut ribs. Teach her that difference. And then you can also teach her how to pull the membrane off the back if you want to do that. Teach her how to do the cook. Ribs are pretty basic to cook, depending on if you want to sauce them or just put some rub on them and let them go without saucing them. You want to smoke them, you just want to grill them, however you want to do them, But yeah, that'd be a good thing to start off with, I think, Just show her the different sections of the spare rib, and teach her how to pull that membrane off, because a lot of people don't like that membrane. It gets kind of tough. Personally, I don't mind it. The way I cook it, I usually don't wrap, so the membrane on my ribs usually comes out almost like onion paper. Y'all remember back in the day, the typewriters, we used onion paper? It kind of comes out like that, because it's crispy and dried out, and almost like real thin onion paper, okay? But either way works. If you didn't want to do some pork ribs, you can also show her how, buy a whole hen, a whole chicken, and show her how to part it out. Cut the, first show her how to spatchcock it, okay? And then show her how to cut it down the breasts, down the middle and, through here. And then you have 2 separate halves. And then you show her how to cut the leg quarters off of the breasts and the wing. And then you show her how to part out the legs from the thighs and the wings from the breasts. So there's a lot to do in a chicken, but she's willing to learn. go for it. More power to you, Jenna. And then you show her how to cook that. Maybe inject it or brine it and then cook it. You know, the options are endless, man. Barbecue is so much fun. Do it so many different ways. Gotta love cooking, man. Gotta love it. And man, the food, whoo, doggy. Usually it comes out pretty good. All right? Most of the time. Now, I have been to some restaurants and it doesn't taste good at all. I don't know what they're doing. They just don't have any flavor in the meat, you know, or in the food. It's like I've always got to put salt and pepper and other seasonings in it to make it edible. But the way y'all see me cook, that's some fine eating, man. It really is. Y'all see me, I had guests over here quite a few times, and they were very happy with the food they got. Anyway, Jason, thanks again. And Jenna, good luck to you, girl. I'm proud of you. From old T-Roy, much love. Mwah. Teach you right, Jason. Next question's from John Jewell. He says, cheers to you, T-Roy. Hey, cheers to you, John. John says, I've been watching your channel for about a year now, and I've watched all your older videos. Woo, doggy, I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much, man. I got over 500 videos, so you've been busy. No, I really appreciate it, though. Thanks for the support, man. He says, thanks for all you do and share. It's my pleasure. You know, I learn from you guys. Y'all learn from me. It's just one big community. We learn from each other. Having fun. Cooking is fun. And the best food you can eat is the food you make yourself. You know, I rarely go out to any restaurants because I don't like the food. You know, very, very seldom do I go out. And the restaurants I do go out to, I've been to them before and I know that they're good. So, it's rare if I try a new one. But I rarely go out, man. Me and Karen probably go out once a month, if that. But sometimes I'll go meet her for lunch and we'll go have lunch somewhere, you know. And I've met quite a few of my fans out at, you know, different places for lunch here in Austin. But usually that's it. It's just we're grabbing a quick sandwich or a quick bite to eat for lunch, you know. It's nothing major. Not like going out. Anyway, John says, I live in Kansas City and I have an old country Pecos. I think that's how it's spelled. Yeah, you spelled it right. You sure did. He says, anyway, I smoke on it at least once a week. With winter here, I'm not sure how much smoking I'm going to be doing. So what is the best way to clean it? And is there ever a reason to reseason the smoker? Thank you again for all you do. Smoke on. I appreciate that, John. Yeah, if you're going to store it up for winter, what you want to do is, what I would do is hose it out real good, you know, and if it's got any of the creosote stuff built up on the inside, maybe take you a wire brush or some type of a heavy bristle brush and just kind of scrape the inside and knock all that stuff off, the flaky stuff, you know. And usually you get that from having too much smoke in your pit. I mean, I've actually got some of my Lone Star grills over here, and I've got to just, you know, take a brush and get the flakes out of there so they don't fall on the food. And if you have true creosote in there, you need to get you like a propane or a butane torch, and you need to burn it and then get you a paint scraper, metal one, and scrape it as you're burning it because it's like tar. So make sure you get all that stuff. Hose it all out real good though, okay, after you finish knocking all the bits out of there. Hose it down real good. Drain all the water out of it. Fire it up. You know, wash the outside of it too. You know, knock the dust off of it. But yeah, fire it up. Let it get nice and warm so that you get all the water dried out of it. And at that point, let it air dry for a little bit of time, you know, maybe overnight or a day. And then you can put you some oil on the inside again. Just coat the inside really, really good, and the outside too if you want. But you're storing this thing. You're not going to be using it. So having a little thin layer of oil on the inside especially, and all the grill grates and everything, charcoal grates and all that, a little thin coating of oil is going to keep it from rusting. All right? That's what I would do. Store it, you know, somewhere out in the garage or in your backyard. If you're going to store it in your backyard, maybe put a cover on it, you know. But check it like at least once a month, maybe every 3 weeks, to make sure no humidity or moisture has gotten under the cover. You know, take the cover off and look at it. And if it has, wipe it down real good and let it sun dry. Because you don't want to, moisture will hurt the pit. You know, it's going to make it rust. So try to keep it from getting rusty by keeping the moisture off of it. But yeah, I would reseason it again. And then when you fire it back up in the spring again, just fire it up. You know? Let it cook for maybe an hour or two, in just like you were doing a cook, but don't put meat on it for an hour or two, and it should be good. Put your meat on there, you're good to go. That's a great question, John. Cheers to you, bro. Next question is from Moe's Black Gold Barbecue. I think he's a YouTube channel, but I don't think he's very big. I'll look him up. If he is, I'll put a link down below in case you want to go check him out. Moe's Black Gold Barbecue says, cheers from Kyle, Texas. Oh, my fellow Texan. There you go, brother. Cheers. My brother James, Eamon McClamen, lives down towards Kyle, man. Look him up, man. If you hadn't met him yet. Anyway, says, thank you for subscribing to my channel. Oh, there you go. He is a YouTuber, y'all. And I've subscribed. So I like watching the younger channels, man. I really do. I love you guys. All right, he says, what can I do to make sure the flat of my brisket comes out juicy and moist, as moist as the point does? I remove the brisket once the point reaches internal temp of either 201 or 203, and I'll let it rest wrapped, and then place it, let me see, I'll let rest wrapped, then place in the cooler. Thank you for your time. Mo, man, I tell you what, man, be honest with you, you're always going to have a flat that is not nearly as juicy as your point because the flat doesn't have the marbling the point does. The best you can hope for is to get you some USDA prime, Wagyu, Kobe beef, Akaushi beef, you know, some higher grade of brisket. That's the only way you're going to avoid having a dried out flat, okay? I have had to sometimes overshoot the temp on the internal temp of my point to make sure that my flat was done. But if you've got an offset or a cooker that has different temp zones within the cooking chamber, you can always spin it around so that the flat's facing towards the heat side, so it's hotter than your point, and let it come up the temp. And you know, I was explaining this a while ago, was I? Pretty sure I was. Yeah, somebody was asking something about the Wagyu steaks for the wife's birthday. Yeah. Wagyu and prime beef and Kobe and Akaushi, all that has a lot of marbling in it. And that's why the flat will be not as juicy as the point, but it'll be a lot juicier than your normal choice and select briskets. Trust me. You're better off getting you the best quality of beef that you can afford. It's worth it. The only other thing I can think of is to inject the flat. Inject, okay? Keep it juicy and wrap it when it hits the stall. That's really the only way I've found on those cheaper cuts to be able to keep it from being dried out. But you know, being dried out ain't a bad thing. You know, you can take that flat, you know, make some chopped beef sandwiches with it. Throw some barbecue sauce in there with it, you know. I make some good chopped beef sandwiches, man. And then enjoy the point in with burnt ends or slices or however you want to eat that. I'm telling y'all, if you haven't tried brisket in chili, you must give that a try. And use the point. Just like I was talking about burnt ends. You know, take those burnt end size pieces from your point, put that in a chili. Boy, I'm telling you what, that's some good chili. Trust old T-Roy on that. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I've got a video doing that. If I can find it, I'll put it up here for you. Because that's some fabulous chili, man, I'm telling you. Anyway, Mo, I appreciate the question, man. Good luck with your briskets. Practice makes perfect, man. Don't let them stop you. Just keep on trucking away, keep on smoking, and get you some good quality meat, okay? Costco, that's where I get my briskets from, is Costco. They've got really good briskets that are prime, USDA prime. Cheers, Mo. Next question is from Tim Miller. He says, a question for you, T-Roy. Hit me, Tim. He says, there are so many rubs out these days. Cosmos, Slap Your Daddy, etc. Everyone has their own mother. Everybody and their own mother has rubs. Yeah, you're right. He says, which brands have you found give you the best results? Man, when I started out, I was using, what was it? Texas Barbecue Rub, I think. TexasBBQRub.com. I'll put a link down below. They've got some good ones. I especially like their Grand Champion and their Wild Rub, okay? But their rubs are fresh. They've got a lot of brown sugar and stuff in them. Their brisket rub, old number 2, that's pretty good. It doesn't have a lot of brown sugar and stuff, but it's good. And then I started using like Oak Ridge barbecue rubs, which I still love to this day. I love the Oak Ridge barbecue rubs. I've tried all of them. They're all great, okay? Really, really good. I've had Cosmos. Cosmos Q's makes some killer rubs, man. He really does. I'm still learning about his rubs. I haven't used them that much, but everything that I've tried it on turned out fantastic. Okay? Slappy Daddy's got some nice rubs. Okay? His has a little different flavor than some of the other ones because he puts, well, I'm not going to tell you what he told me he puts in it, but it's a little, how's Greg over at Ballistic Barbecue say? Unami or something? Umami? Anyway, it's got some different flavorings in there, folks, but it's good. Really good. Tango Joe. I mentioned Tango Joe, Tango Spice Company earlier. He's got some wonderful rubs. Okay? And I hear my boy Sal, Rude Boy Cooks. I hear he's got some rubs, but I haven't tried them yet. Maybe I'll order me some. He's got at least 2 different varieties. I think that's it, man. You know, usually if you check my cupboard, well, I've got the Heaven Made Products, you know, is really, really good, but they don't really make barbecue rubs per se. I mean, they've got some nice ones for brisket and for fajitas. It's Incredibles for pretty much everything. He does have a rib rub, Texas Best Rib Rub, I think. Texas Best Brisket Rub, I think. They're really good, okay? Don't get me wrong, they're really good. But he's not a competition barbecue kind of guy. So it's good, but it's more like a backyard barbecue kind of guy. The Oak Ridge Barbecue and the Tango Spice Company and the Texas Barbecue and the Cosmos Q, all those guys are competition in the competition circuit cooks, okay? Or they have in the past. So they know what barbecue should taste like on the competition circuit, the professionals. And that's what they do their rubs based on, okay? So there's a difference. But again, Heaven Made's really good. I just, for barbecue itself, authentic, real barbecue, I like to go with those other ones. But everybody has a different taste, you know? Everybody's got their own that they love, you know? Some people like meat church rubs. I've tried a few of them, and they're okay. They're not bad. But they're not up to par with what I've tasted from others, okay? Just my own 2 cents. Like I said, everybody's got their own different flavor profiles they like, their different tastes. So there you go. There's quite a few I mentioned. Hope that helps, and I appreciate the question, Tim. Thanks, man. Appreciate the support, too. Cheers to you. Yeah, we're coming up on almost 30 minutes, which is cool, because this is my last question. Casey DeLoach, what you got for me, Casey? He says, cheers, T-Roy. Cheers to you, Casey. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you hanging around and asking questions, supporting the channel. Casey says, I want to try my first brisket on my 18-inch Weber Smoky Mountain. Cool. Glad you got your Weber Smoky Mountain. And first brisket probably ain't going to come out good, but you never know. You may luck up and be lucky the first one. Usually it takes 5, 6, 8 briskets to really get it nailed, though, you know, to get it down. Anyway, he says, I'm wondering if I'll be able to load enough charcoal on the Weber Smoky Mountain for a full cook, or should I expect to reload at some point? I plan to cook at 225, thanks. Casey, that all has to do with temperature where you are. You mentioned that you've got the 18.5 inch. I'd venture to say you're probably going to need to reload it. I'm trying to remember what JB says about it. JB over at the Louisiana Cajun Recipes, my good friend in Baton Rouge, he's got the 18.5 inch. And he has a hard time putting a brisket on there, a full packer brisket. What I have seen him do, though, is take the top grill grate and take it off of one side so that it's kind of angled and sitting on the lower grill grate just above the water pan. And he lays the brisket on that because the brisket laid in diagonally fits. But if you try to lay it flat on the top grate, it's going to be hanging over the edges on the 18-inch Weber Smoky Mountain usually. Unless you're just doing a flat or just doing a point. Full packer, probably not going to fit unless you got a real small one from a little baby calf, maybe some veal brisket. I'd venture to say you're going to have to reload it, especially in the cooler temps. Man, if it's dead heat of summer and you're living like in Arizona or here in Texas where it gets up above 100 degrees, you may be able to do it on one load. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to put some more fuel in it. The 18.5 is just not quite as big as the 22, and I can get like a 12-hour cook in the summertime out of my Weber Smoky Mountain, 12 to 15-hour cook actually in the summertime. Whereas in the wintertime, maybe an 8 to 12-hour cook, usually about 8 or 10 hours, and I'm having to reload it. But, you know, your mileage may vary depending on the charcoal you use, whether you use lump, whether you use Royal Oak or Kingsford or, you know, store-bought brand. So there's a lot of variables going on in there. But just trust me, you probably are going to have to reload fuel, okay? I want to say JB can get, and JB uses ceramic briquettes instead of water in the water pan, okay? But I think JB can get around the same times I can get on my 22-inch Weber Smoky Mountain. But he's got those ceramic briquettes. So check out some of JB's cooks, man. Louisiana Cajun recipes. I'll put JB's link up here for you. Really good friend. The dude can cook, especially if you like southern cuisine, Cajun cooking. Old JB knows what he's doing, man. All right, folks, that's all I got. Again, I appreciate all the support on the merchandise store. Thanks for y'all checking that out. Let me know if you have any issues with it for any reason. I have some more merchandise coming down the road. Once I get some of this stock out and have a little money to play with, then I can, you know, invest back into making more stuff. I've had requests for koozies, for aprons, for other color shirts, different hats, you know. So all that stuff's going around, and we'll see what comes up next. But I can't thank you enough for all the support. I love chit-chatting each week with every one of y'all. Now, I will say, coming up the end of December, you know, the holiday season, I'm probably not going to be shooting videos. So if you don't see a video from me at the end of the year, at the end of the month, I'm just having fun, enjoying family and hanging out with friends. So y'all don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Anyway, appreciate everything that y'all do. Again, we're a community. Love each and every one of y'all. Thanks for watching. If you got questions for me, ask them in the comments section down below or on the most recent chat. If you like this, give me some thumbs up. Hope you share the video. And when you do, please tell all your friends that T. Roy cooks responsibly. Cheers, everybody. It's a wrap.